Greetings, friends and fellow aliens, and thank you for watching this video, where we are going to talk about my least favorite subject ever, which is narcissism and narcissists. Look, I really didn't want to have to approach this again, but there's we just live in this weird kind of time where it just seems like everybody's a freaking narcissist, and I want to clear the air about it, talk about a couple of the traits that you need to look out for, and do a little bit of perspective talking about what this is, how people are affected by it, and just some cautionary tales for you to be able to identify a narcissist, and also a reality check, because you need to understand that not everybody in your life is a narcissist. So with that being said, let's get into it. I want to discuss 5 traits that narcissists have and cover each one, what it is, what it's about, what it does to you, how you fall victim to it, and all of those kinds of things sort of surrounding these 5, what I would consider probably the most common narcissistic traits that somebody would have. Before I do that, we need to talk a little bit about narcissism in general. Narcissistic personality disorder, NPD, is considered a cluster B personality trait. Cluster B is a set of personality traits that include histrionic, antisocial, narcissistic, and there's another one, borderline personality disorder being another one. Narcissistic personality disorder is only present in probably like a max of about 5% of the population. So, putting this into clear terms in your reality, you may know 100 people. It's actually kind of hard to know 100 people at the same time. But if you do know and speak to 100 people on a regular basis, they may all be douchebags, right? All of them assholes, every single one. But only 1 to 5 of them are actually going to be a legit narcissist with narcissistic personality disorder. So I'm going to tell you right now, stop calling everybody a narcissist, because it's not healthy. It's not appropriate. It's kind of the lazy way out. And it sort of throws around a term that is actually a serious personality disorder. And we don't want to make light of that. And we also don't want to just label everyone and everything a narcissist just because they're an asshole. It's completely different. Asshole does not equal narcissist. Narcissist generally equals asshole. Okay, granted, that's fine. I would highly encourage you to look up cluster B personality disorders, right? Histrionic and stuff like that, just to understand that there's a lot of crossover between these things. And many people have narcissistic personality traits. You may be dealing with somebody who you think is a narcissist that is not. They just have a lot of narcissistic personality traits. Does that mean they can be saved? We're going to get to that, because that's something that just really triggers the hell out of me. So we're going to talk about those topics and some of the narcissistic traits that you may encounter and all of that, right? So stick with me here, because there's kind of a lot to cover with all of this. I recently put up a poll on my channel, and I'm going to show you the results of the poll. It's had about 130 votes come in. And in the poll, I'm asking, which narcissistic personality trait are you most likely to fall victim to? And this was really interesting just in terms of the results, because these are the 5 traits that I kind of want to cover and cover more in depth and talk about. The 5 traits I presented, all right? The first one was love bombing. And to describe this, I'm like, you know that all of this showering of affection is not real, but it doesn't matter because it feels amazing. And so there's that. And you easily fall prey to love bombing, because it is just that absolute, it's like a broadside cannon shot to you, just filled with roses and candies and love and smushy garbage and just all of this stuff thrown at you to rope you in, right? That's what a narcissist does. And for some people, it is easy to fall victim to that. The second one was gaslighting, because I totally didn't say the thing that you said I said that I don't remember that I said. Look, that's gaslighting in a nutshell, right? Gaslighting is that, well, you said this, or you never did that, or you never told me that, or whatever else. You never said that I wasn't allowed to go with my friends to Las Vegas and drink the entire time, and so on. You know what I mean? Like, it's all of these things that playing tricks on your mind to make you think or believe that you did or didn't do something that you did or didn't do. This is really confusing, but that's what gaslighting is. It's just a way to confuse you to basically get away with shitty behavior. The third one on my list was victimhood. Oh, I have a feeling that's the big winner, people. Because victimhood is like, they've been through so much and I can save them. But no, you can't. All right, so let's just get rid of that right off the bat. We're going to talk about victimhood. The fourth one on my list was blame shifting, which is basically, of course, it's all my fault that your behavior is so super shitty. I did all of that, right? I am responsible for all of your terrible actions. Did you cheat on me? I'm sure that's my fault. Did you slash my tires on my car? Obviously, I asked for that, etc., etc. Blame shifting is just that kind of thing where you know that other person is never going to take responsibility for their own terrible actions. And instead, it's much easier to just point at you and say it's all your fault. And you, the sappy sucker who just wants to fix this person, agrees with them and says, okay, because you feel like that's what's going to make it work, but it won't. So we need to get over that. The last one on my list that was on my poll was future faking. Future faking is part of that love bombing almost, where it's this grand, like, I'm going to buy you a mansion and we're going to retire in the south of France and so on and so forth, and tell your friends we're moving to Morocco and, you know, et cetera, and this is just a year away. I'm going to own mega corporations, et cetera, and this is something that a narcissist does because they just want to be impressive to everybody, even though they have absolutely no hope of accomplishing any of these things because they're an asshole. There you go. So when I looked at the percentage breakdown of the poll, and I'll post it up here, I have it right in front of me here. So if I'm looking down, that's what I'm reading. So victimhood is what came up first at 34% of the respondents. Love bombing was second. Gaslighting was third. Blame shifting was fourth. Future faking coming in last. But you can kind of roll that into love bombing in a way. So it is really interesting to see this breakdown of what people feel like they're susceptible to. Now, granted, I'm running this poll on a channel where a lot of my subscribers are INFJs, right? If you don't know what an INFJ is, look up MBTI, Myers-Briggs Type Indicator. INFJ is one of 16 personality types, though it's cognitive functions. It's not your personality. Your personality is by experience. Your cognitive function is the gears that make this stuff work in here. So it is, look, you guys are all lovey-dovey and soft and squishy, and I adore every single one of you. And it's no surprise that you're a bunch of fixers or that you feel a responsibility to fix a partner. I get it. I do. I've been there. I've tried it. I've been burnt to a crisp as a result twice. So it's really, really difficult. And like, I get it. I get that that's the number one response. Love bombing coming in second. That's the one, man, that just like a lot of people just end up getting steamrolled by. So these all kind of roll into each other, and I want to cover them one by one. But before I do that, I would like to let you know the sponsor for this video, which is me and my book, which is on Amazon. This is The Caretaker. It's 300 some odd pages. It's a supernatural story, and it's really awesome. I'm working on the sequel to this novel called The Steward as we speak, and it's some pretty awesome stuff, right? Check out the links in the description and the comments. You can support this channel in any number of ways, even if you just want to send me a tip. Now I gotta wait for my cat to be done shitting in the litter box because she's digging and making noise. I'm trying to talk about narcissists. It's kind of appropriate that my cat's taking a shit while I'm talking about narcissists, actually. All right, she's done. We're good now. I'm very sorry about that. One more quick update for you. This channel now has a join button below, and you can go ahead and hit that and join in. For a couple bucks a month, you can be part of the whole mothership of aliens or whatever I'm going to end up calling this. I'm just getting it started. It's a program that I've wanted to have in place for a long time, and so I'm looking at putting some things in place for that. You'll have highlighted comments. There's different emojis. There's actually a spider cow emoji that you can use and stuff. I put that as one, and like a unicorn and some other stuff, maybe an octopus things. There's octopus badges. So there are going to be perks involved with this and it supports this channel, I would greatly appreciate it if you could join up and looking at starting up an actual community for members where we can kind of hang out together without opening the floodgates to every troll on the internet. So all this being said, thank you. And here we go into the narcissistic personality traits, 5 of them that we're going to cover right now. All right, so I'm going to do this in reverse order of the percentage breakdown. So the lowest percentage trait or technique a narcissist has to rope you in is future faking, according to your responses, right? So future faking is this idea of playing off your hopes and dreams in order to rope you in as a narcissistic supply. Please remember, as a soft-hearted, empathic individual, you are food for a voraciously hungry narcissist. They want to consume you. They want to consume your goodwill. They want all of your attention. They want everything they can do to rope you in and have you fawning over them 100% of the time, right? So future faking is one of the things that they'll do in order to get you into that frame of mind where you are attached, you are hooked. They are literally hooking your hopes and dreams. And believe me, you will have conversations with this narcissist that will dig into you and find out exactly what it is you want, how you want to live, how your future is envisioned and planned out. And they will take that and they will throw on coats of gold and make it even more grand and glorious. And I'm the one that can do that for you. And we can do this together. And we're going to, like I said, move to the south of France. And we're going to retire at the age of 30. And I'm going to have a Ferrari. And I'm going to be an influencer and so on and so forth. Look, all of this garbage, right? Because it completely ignores reality. Where are you going to get the cash for all of this? Like, come on, dude. You work at Burger King. Nothing against Burger King. The fries are fine. But I'm just saying, like, it's Burger King salary is not going to pay for a Ferrari in the south of France. The thing about future faking is it ignores reality. And it ignores the hard questions that you have to have with your partner in order to establish what is actually your dream. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to be? Where do you want to age? What will make you happy? Where is that place? What is that thing? What are your hopes and dreams? Because often when we boil it down, it's not really materialistic. We just want to be happy. That's all. And that's not something that's registering with a narcissist. What registers with a narcissist is this idea that you have to show how superior you are. That's why they're materialistic and material things are so important. And that's why it's about what's seen and what's shown to others in order to validate this feeling of superiority. So future faking is one way that they do that. Now look, it's not hard to eliminate future faking, basically, because you just have to ask the question, well, how do we plan on doing this? Like, realistically. It's not just, it's going to happen. It's not just going to fall into our laps. We're not just going to luck out and become celebrities. There is hard work involved in everything you do. And if somebody's consistently ignoring the hard work and just talking about the hope and the dream and so on, they are stringing you along. And they're stringing you along in such a way that you're just kind of playing into it. Okay, well, we'll figure it out. Well, we'll figure it out is fine. But reality needs to be taken into context. Now, in a healthy relationship with a partner, you sit down and you have this hard conversation. Where should we go? Where would we move? What do we have to do? And how do we have to set up our life in order to do that? What are the difficult things that we're going to come across? And what do we have to overcome? And how do we work together to make this happen? These are the important conversations that aren't easy. And yeah, that dream may seem far away, and it probably is far away. But it doesn't mean that you're ignoring everything it takes to work toward it. That's the trick. And that's what the narcissist is going to play off of in order to rope you in. So now that we've done future faking, let's move on. By percentages, the next one on my list is blame shifting. Blame shifting is that notion of, okay, maybe I did something that was untoward, but it's all your fault. Everything is your fault. Look, the last thing, oddly enough, that a narcissist, well, okay, the first thing a narcissist wants to do is look in the mirror and look at themselves and just how amazing they are. The last thing they want to do is look in the mirror, look at themselves and see their true self, which is a hollow, empty person that has zero empathy. As a result, the narcissist is not going to take responsibility for anything unless they know that taking responsibility is a way to manipulate you. Keep this in mind. There is no virtue here, right? There's no virtuous, you know what? I was wrong. It is all my fault. And I'm going to get better and I'm going to be better. That doesn't exist. For the narcissist, it's fine. It's my fault. Everything is my fault, apparently. You see, it's this confrontational way of twisting things around now that everything's my fault because it's your fault. And that's what ends up happening. You get blamed for the cheating. You get blamed for the awful behavior. You get blamed for somebody forgetting your birthday or ignoring something really important to you or just steamrolling everything you've ever wanted or worked towards in order to feed into what they want and their goals. Understand, all you are as a narcissistic supply is a full gas tank. And as long as you keep filling up that gas tank, they're going to keep steamrolling you with their car, okay? You stop filling the gas tank, they're going to stop steamrolling you, but also they're going to look somewhere else for gas. Bye-bye. Blame shifting requires you to think about something for a second and understand that you have self-worth. It's saying, no, that's not my fault. Your shitty behavior is your fault. You're the one who is wrong, not me. This requires setting boundaries, and this requires knowing your self-worth. And those two are really hard to come by when you've been knocked down and you've had a narcissist repeatedly putting you lower than you really are. Fortunately, blame shifting is one of the easiest things to kind of get around, right? Because blame shifting, well, you said that, this is all your fault and so on and so forth, is turned around easily by saying, I am not at fault for your shitty behavior. That's the phrase. It is not my fault that you're an asshole. It's not my fault that you did something wrong. You made the choice and you did it wrong and you knew the consequences of it. This requires putting your foot down, which is something you absolutely should do. Look, if you're in a relationship or a friendship or a business relationship with somebody that treats you this way, why are you taking their bullshit? Put your foot down. You're worth more than that. This person is not your friend. This person is not showing care for you. This person is trying to get away with their crappy behavior and blaming it on you. Don't take it. Climbing up the narcissistic ladder of amazing traits and manipulation techniques is gaslighting. Oh, gaslighting, right? You didn't say the thing that you don't remember you said because I think you said, look, gaslighting is just a way to confuse. It's a way to basically, it's kind of like a blame shift. It is a manipulation technique in a lot of ways. And it's saying, well, you told me I could go out with my friends and stay out drinking until 2 o'clock in the morning. You said it was fine. And of course I would say, no, I didn't. It's like, yeah, you did. We had the conversation. You forgot the conversation. It's all of these stupid little manipulation techniques. Now listen, if you haven't seen the movie Gaslighting, and it's an old movie, black and white, and it's a really great watch. You have to get into that kind of classic movie mode to watch it. It doesn't have a bunch of CGI and like the Hulk throwing things around, right? That's not gaslighting. But it's a bit of a slow burn, all right, pun intended, of a movie where there's a guy who is manipulating this woman, and part of it is in old homes, they would have gas lanterns like in the hallways and things like that. And when she turned it off, he would turn it on. Or when she turned it on, he would turn it off. She said, I thought I turned this on. And he'd be like, no, it's been off. Gaslighting is things like moving your car keys. And then when you're looking around for them, where are my keys? Well, you put them over there in the basket. Well, no, I didn't. I was like, yeah, you just don't remember. It's this way to manipulate somebody and just make them feel like they're crazy. Narcissists are so good at this because they don't care. They don't care how you're feeling. This is just a technique to manipulate you to get you to question what it is that you actually said or did. Because look, if you're not on solid ground and you're consistently doubting yourself because they are tricking you into doubting yourself, then when it does come down to their awful behavior, you already have this measure of doubt inside of you. And you're already going to say to yourself, yeah, I guess I have been forgetful lately. Yeah, I did say that, or I did say that you could go out and then I forgot about it. He's right, or she's right. So like all of these kinds of things start playing on your mind, and it just sows these seeds of doubt. Once these seeds of doubt are in there, it's so much easier to get away with awful behavior because you are conditioned to not feel like you are on any kind of solid ground. That is a terrible, terrible place to be. Now, this requires some confidence to get past, right? To get past this gaslighting that's constantly happening. It requires confidence. It requires documentation in a lot of ways. I hate to make it sound like you got to be keeping tabs and having electronic communication with your partner, but you need to be keeping tabs and having electronic communication with your partner. Save the texts, save the pictures, look at the dates of things, right? Save the emails, all of these different kinds of things. Note the times things like this happen, when they happen, what the situation is. Every time that somebody tries to manipulate you, there needs to be a note. And if it's not a mental note, it's a note and a little notepad thing on your phone or something where you can just store it and be like, okay, here it was, July 9th or what have you. They did this, they said this, I did not do that, I did, like, so on and so forth. So you're kind of, it's almost like keeping a log of these inconsistencies. And that's something you need to look back at and say, okay, I'm not crazy. I'm the sane one. They're trying to manipulate me. And this is how, right? Save the texts that say, oh, I didn't say that. I never said that I wanted to do this, that, or the other. Yeah, you did. Here's the text, right? And of course they're going to come around and say, oh, now you're saving text. Oh, you don't trust me. And oh, this is all your fault. This is why I don't tell you anything. And I don't want to do anything. Like, you can see where this is all going to go. Don't let the narcissist worm their way out of this kind of thing. You nail that bastard to the wall and you say, no, this behavior's not okay. And this is why. Better yet, if this person really is a narcissist, wash your hands of it, get rid of them, and get the hell out. Because there is no way you're going to come out as a winner. And all of this is going to be exhausting, and it is going to wear on your mind 100% of the time. There are some situations where you can't get out of a narcissistic relationship. When it's family, sometimes you can cut family loose, and sometimes you absolutely should cut family loose. Family's not just blood. Family is who's there for you. If it's a working relationship, sometimes you're stuck there and you're stuck within that. And that makes it even more important to document everything, save the emails, save the texts, save the communications, so you are not caught off guard or caught in a place where you have to question yourself when you're put on the spot. Moving on from gaslighting, we come to the love bomb. Oh, I know. They sent me flowers and chocolates and bought me a new whatever. And sure, I've only known this person for a week, but like, we're so in love. No, you're just an idiot. It's like the biggest red flag ever. You've known somebody for 4 days, you exchange phone numbers, all of a sudden you just end up as a soulmate. Okay. Maybe that happens, right? Maybe shitty ass Disney movies are correct and they've taught us that all of this magical stuff is like real and perfect and this is your Prince Charming or what have you. But more likely than not, it's just a really crappy person who's trying to shove all this stuff in your face in the hopes that it's going to work. And you, the insecure person who did not receive the right amount of love for you growing up, buy into it, hook, line, and sinker like a sucker. And look, I'm guilty of it. My first relationship, I've known a lot of people in my life, and if I would peg one person, okay, 2 people out of everybody that I've ever known to actually have narcissistic personality disorder, my first relationship and a former business partner. Those 2 Oh man, they were good. They were really good. And I hated it. I hated every second of it. It tore me up. It ate me up. It destroyed all sorts of things. And I'm still trying to get over it. In the case of my first relationship, it was that love bomb. It was just that showering of attention and everything else. And me, growing up the way I did, I fell for it. Again, hook, line, and sinker, because it felt good. And it was like finally somebody's paying this kind of attention to me, and somebody's boosting me up and gassing me up and telling me about all these different things and how incredible I am and how much I'm worth and so on and so forth, and can't live without me, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And man, I was really freaking stupid. That was a long time ago. And that set the stage for a lot of mistakes that I made in my adult life. And I don't want you making the same mistakes. So you got to understand, as good as it may feel to have somebody showering you with that kind of attention, it's not the right kind of attention. They're trying to throw everything at you. It is scattershot. It is a cannon just loaded with a bunch of bullshit fired straight at you to see what'll stick to you, in the hopes that they'll rope you in, and then comes the blame shifting, and then comes the gaslighting, and then comes the future faking, and then comes all of these other things to just keep you filling that gas tank of the narcissist's steamroller so they can keep running you over and over again, really slow, like in Austin Powers, where they're like, get out of the way, and he's like, ah, and they're like, get out of the way, and he's like, ah, for like, a couple minutes. It's my favorite scene of the movie, actually. Love bombing takes recognition, and it takes a hard look at yourself too to get past it, to say, look, I'm awesome and I'm worth a lot, but this is too much. This is too much, right? It feels good though, and we want things, and we want material things, and we want to be told these things, and we want to feel this way, but it's not real. It's not real. And as soon as that happens, that is the major first red flag, and you ignore it at your own risk. And all of this to bring us to victimhood, the narcissistic, their favorite playing card to lay down on the table. Woe is me. Everyone's out to get me. Nobody's given me a fair shot. Everything's stacked up against me. All the odds are against me. Nobody likes me. My family can't stand me. I'm so this, I'm so that, etc., etc. And then you, this sweet, empathic person, take them in your arms, and you're like, you know what? You've been through so much, and it's okay. I'm going to fix it, and I'm going to fix you. You know what? You're wrong. You're a sucker. And you got played. One of the questions I get all the time on this channel in comments is, can I fix a narcissist? And the answer is no, you can't. They're not fixable. Somebody with actual narcissistic personality disorder, this is not a fixable thing. Can you coexist with a narcissist? Absolutely. Why would you want to, first of all? And second of all, don't make the mistake of trying to think that you can alter and fix the behavior, because you're going to have a contentious relationship the entire time. It is always going to be a fight. It is always going to be turned around and thrown back at you, and you have to be an expert, and a confident expert, one that knows your worth, that sets boundaries, that sticks to them, and that doesn't take somebody else's shit. And if you can't do that, you are going to get steamrolled. It is going to wear you down, grind you down, like you're two trees in a forest. The narcissist is one of them, you're the other one, and all of these techniques are somebody chopping you down to get shorter and shorter and shorter, so they're superior, and you're just this sad, stupid little stump that doesn't know what to do with yourself because you feel so weak, in contrast to somebody who is towering over you. But you know what? They're not towering over you. That's not how it works. And this is something that you can absolutely get past. The first thing you need to understand is that it is not your job to fix people. Do not make the mistake of thinking that everybody's issues are your problem. They're not. You have your own issues, you have your own hopes and your own dreams and a way that you want to live. And you need to be the individual in your relationship first. That's right. You are two individuals first. I have the things that I want to do, and these are my hopes and dreams, and I am going to do them, and I'm not going to put them aside for you and your crap. You have things that you want to do and accomplish, and I will support you as you work towards them, but I am not here to fix you, to play the violin every time something goes wrong for you in the sad song, right? Not my job. My job is to support you, but you're going to need to know how to put your big boy pants on and handle your own shit. And if you can't, we're going to have a problem. Two adults can talk and can work out their issues in a civil way. But when somebody is constantly playing the victim and they're looking for that kind of attention, they're looking for that mothering sort of, okay, and I'll make everything better and I'll smooth it all over. And you know, the victimhood is when you start making all these excuses for this person. Well, they didn't want to come to the family get together because they weren't feeling up to it and they've had a really rough week and so on and so forth. No, I'm sorry. If it's something that's important to you, your partner will recognize that. They'll get their crap together and they'll go with you, even if they don't want to be there. That's how it works, right? And even if they don't, maybe they'll find a way to enjoy themselves once they are there. That's what a normal person does. But if you're sitting here constantly having to defend somebody, to make excuses for their crappy behavior, I got news for you. You got roped in by somebody that's got a lot of narcissistic personality traits, because that is not normal. It's not how a normal relationship should work, and it's not what you should be putting yourself through. You are worth more than that. You are better than that, and this is not your responsibility. Their victimhood is not your responsibility. You need to take care of yourself and the things that you want to do and accomplish, because you've got one shot at this life and you need to be happy. You need to live it fulfilled and you need to live it with joy. And if there is somebody else that is preventing you from doing that because they need the attention that a victim gets, you've got to cut that person loose. Now look, I realize that my entire tone through this video is a little agitated, and that's because I hate talking about narcissists. I've had my relationships with them, both business and personal. I hate remembering it. I hate all of the interactions. I wish I could have done a bunch of things differently. Not saying that I regret where I am today. I'm in a wonderful relationship with somebody who I love very much. I've got three kids who are my entire world. I'm writing. I published a book. I live in a cool place. Like, I'm all right, you know. But there are certain things that I truly wish I could have done better, and that I truly wish I would have known when I started interacting with more people out into the world. In school and like high school, you don't really see this sort of thing. You're focused, you're going to classes, you're hanging out with your buddies and whatnot. You're not interacting with people on this level yet. And those narcissists are usually showing themselves a little bit later when they've had some experience and learned how to manipulate multiple targets. And then they see you and your sweet, sappy ass, and they're like, you're one of them. And so here we go. And here comes the narcissist magnet. And then you're just roped in. And so you've got to live and learn these things. I truly wish schools would teach in some way something about interacting with people that have toxic personality traits. So listen, I threw a lot at you in this video, and I'm going to stop here. There's a lot to talk about in the comments, so please comment, and also consider hitting that join button and being a part of our alien community here and part of the mothership. I'm trying to churn out more content. I'm doing a lot of writing these days. There's lots to come, and I feel like everything hopefully is just kind of waking up and getting better and better and better. And part of that is trying to impart some of my experience and my knowledge on you through my perspective, in the hopes that it helps you in your life. I appreciate you. I love you very much, especially you, my sweet, sweet INFJ friends. Stay strong out there, okay? You can do this. Have your self-worth, have your confidence, and just take care of yourself. More than anything else, take care of you so you can take care of others in that sweet and perfect way that you do. I love you all very much, and I will see you in the comments.